And welcome back to the Nose Plays Endless Space 2, picking up part 3 of the United Empire gameplay we started a week ago. It'll probably only be for about an hour tonight. And we're going to live stream some of this gameplay, so if anybody jumps in the chat, we'll be able to chat with them. So, where we left off, we had just moved a fleet forward and we're considering harassing the Horatio. The Sofunds just took away our bonus for owning the constellation, which, as you might recall, was plus 15% influence, which is very powerful on the United Empire. We are several turns away from getting our next colony. This will be faster than 15 turns due to the extra food that we're sending, but I don't know how much faster. And we had a second fleet that we were working on. We also have a quest to run 3 militarist laws for 10 turns, which we're going to be able to do pretty soon. But before I switch to militarist laws, I do want to finish this colony because we are currently running the new colony bonus, which gives us extra food, reducing that turn timer, and then gives us a nice approval boost for the first few turns of that system's and all of our systems' immediate future. We also started a trade company and have a subsidiary coming down here very soon. And we'll see what happens with that. It should solve most, if not all, of our dust problems once it gets down. I don't think there was much else that we could do other than aggressively press this fleet forward, which I'm hesitant to do because one of our 2 escorts is damaged. Unfortunately, the pirate system does not allow me to repair my ships, even though we are currently allied
I'm sure we have what you need.
with the pirates in the short term. But we could buy potentially a pirate mark. And I wanted to see, it looks like we're about to finish this hack, so we may actually buy that pirate mark and put it on Perseus. I think I am going to go ahead and send this fleet forward since we wanted to play aggressively, and we do have a backup fleet currently being built. We're also 3 turns off from applied cryogenics, which will give us a bigger class of ship. And so we'll be able to really build a more powerful military, or a navy, I guess, in this case. Let's hope that... Okay. I was going to say, let's hope that he has not rebuilt his fleets. It looks like Isander is over here with a ship. We might have to deal with that. We don't really want him taking any of the systems in this constellation. And IMEX is losing population primarily because we're sending from IMEX to Takim lots and lots of food. I am going to go ahead and pull this ship out and put it in a defensive stance so that we can catch any ships that might be floating around in our territory. And you can see our dust problems are going to get worse as we get more and more ships. There's not much we can do about that. We might be able... We can actually buy this out. I think we're going to go ahead and do that. And that will hopefully solve most of our trade problems once that gets completed next turn. Alright, so let's take a look at what we're dealing with here. He's got a revealer with 93 attack and 222 defense, using primarily bullet weapons, slug weapons, and I've forgotten what our fleet was using. I think we're using a mixture of bullets and lasers. I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So we should be able to very easily destroy that ship. We also have our scouts over here that I recently split up. And unfortunately, there's not a lot for them to do, or at least on this side of the map, there's not a lot for them to do. It looks like there's a little bit more territory over here. And we also have a couple more curiosities that we can pick up. Red Sang and Hyperium. So go ahead and send that ship that way. And then this ship, I'm actually going to send back over here because we do have some curiosities in our home territory that have become uncovered since we've gotten more science, I would imagine. So that's going to take quite a few turns, but he shouldn't have any problem getting over there. I could also deviate him over here if we need to. That might actually be a better idea. He's going to be... Let's just head over here for now, and we'll make the decision in 4 turns where we want to send him. Alright. I don't think there's much else to do on this turn, so go ahead and end. And unfortunately... there we go. Okay, our trade route's calculated. And now we're at positive dust. That is not going to stay positive for very long if we don't improve the trade routes because we're making a lot of more new ships. We are creating another settler. I'm not sure where I'm going to send that settler yet. If I'm not mistaken, this system does not count as part of the constellation, and so we won't be able to take the lead by taking that system, which means that I may move this out of the queue in favor of something else. The question is, do I want to grab one of these? This is 26 turns. We really don't have the industry for that. This, however, is actually pretty good in this system. 17 turns is a long time. We don't have any anomalies. So this is mediocre at best. I think we'll go ahead and get a turn onto that. We don't really need the settler right away. We can build it whenever. Everything else that's being constructed can be constructed at its leisure. And let's get this ship over here.
Your offensiveness drives Horatio to anger and distraction.
Okay. We have not declared war on Horatio yet, so we are unable to do much with that, but we're going to refuse to remove our ships for the moment. I've got 2 probes that I'm going to send down each of these lanes, so we really don't need our ship over here just yet, our scout ship.
Your offensiveness drives Horatio to anger and distraction.
Okay, they're going to try to close borders on us. That's fine. I may let them waste their resources closing borders on us, but actually, let's see how much this is going to cost.
You have offended the most perfect.
Oh, that's right. It's free for us.
As Horatio, we are most vexed.
All right, let's go ahead and declare war.
You try to make Horatio's opinion of you even worse.
All right, he's angry. We're not too worried about that. And now I'm able to attack. Let's go ahead and attack his ship first. And we're going to go with... do I have a medium? I don't have a medium range battle tactic, interestingly enough. We'll take the least amount of damage from long range, where he'll take significant damage from long range since we do have ships that have lasers, and since we outnumber him in the number of guns. He will likely retreat, And he did. So we don't have to worry about that for a moment. And then we could invade. He's got a 7 population on this system already. But he doesn't have very many people. And we actually could do a little bit of sieging. I don't think there's any need to siege. Let's go ahead and manage this first. So I haven't teched to this yet, but we definitely have the money and resources to make these 2 upgrades happen, which will give us slightly better troops. We could blitz, which gives us a cap of 650. We don't have 650, so this actually isn't very beneficial for us. We only have 440, so actually preemptive bombing is probably the best way to go. He's mostly infantry anyways, and we'll go ahead and watch this because why not? Now he is likely to... Oh, he did not conscript, so he's lost almost a quarter of his troops right away. Alright, that went pretty well for us. We'll continue that, and while we're continuing that, this is something that a lot of people are not aware of, but something that you should become aware of. Once you drop an invasion force, you do not need to keep your fleet present. There is a single advantage to that, in that if or when you decide to retreat your troops, they will go back to the fleet if they're present. Or if you achieve victory, they will go back to the fleet if present. You can still retreat your troops, but if your fleet isn't present, then they will go back to your global pool, and it will take time for them to be repopulated onto ships. So there is that downside. There's also the benefit of being able to prevent reinforcements from arriving from other fleets of the enemy that you're trying to destroy. So you can actually have them send dropships to add more troops to the fights. If you have a fleet here, that becomes a little bit more difficult for them. But we don't necessarily need to stay here. Now, we already know what's here. We could go ahead and move over there, scout that curiosity, and then come back. I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. And we are probably going to send this guy back home. We now have access to our better ships. We'll pick a technology here shortly. Got more ships completed. We're going to eavesdrop again, which is going to reduce the cost of diplomacy and pirate marks. I'm just going to preemptively bomb again, but we're not going to watch this time. It should be very similar. This time they did conscript, so they lost 1 population point, but they had more troops. It still wasn't enough. There's a very likely chance that we're going to take over this system in the next fight. And this effect has now worn off. That's unfortunate. I'm actually not going to move this ship. Since we are likely to win this fight, he also has another fleet coming in. That fleet will not survive. And we can go ahead and attack his ship again. This one is actually a weapon. So this is actually a fighting ship. It does have more powerful short-range weapons, but we're going to avoid short range and fight him at long range, where we have effective long-range weapons, and he does not, even if he tries to close. And yeah, let's go ahead and watch this fight. He'll likely run away again. Yep. I have a second probe. One thing you can do with probes that regenerate regularly is just continually send them down a lane so that you continue to have vision down that lane. However, I do see that it looks like there may be something out that way that we can hit. So I'm going to go ahead and send that probe that direction for now. And we are going to put him into blockade mode. We have other ships that need to move. So we will let that happen. And while I have vision of their fleet, this looks like not a Sophan fleet, but a minor faction or a minor civ that they picked up. They do have a medium class ship, so it's a good thing that we discovered the medium class tech, and we're going to go ahead and put one in the queue. We'll retrofit it after the fact. I'm not going to worry about it right this second. I am going to go ahead and bring this ship out and merge those together. And what else do we have going on that we need to be dealing with? So at the moment we only have 7 command points. So the 4 command points from the 4 minor ships that I'm making, plus the 3 from the battleship, makes 7. So there's no real sense in building a second battleship just yet. Anything else that I need to do this turn? We're still waiting for this to complete. Let's take a look and see where we're at. Oh, we're down to 1 turn. Okay. So next turn, that was way less than 15 turns. We must be sending a fair amount of food for sure. And it looks like there's a lane here. Yes, there is. Okay. Let's go ahead and scout these curiosities first. Luckily for us, we are still friendly with the pirates. And we do need...
Oh, I'm sure we have what you need.
...to make
Look,
some
sit back
negotiations
and watch
with them. So now we have a pirate mark. The question is, do we want the pirate mark on one of our systems or on one of the Sophan systems? I'm going to go ahead and put it on Pictor and see if we can't get some harassment over here. This is a system. So one thing that's important to note, another piece of information that's not, it's available, but it's not super obvious. Blockading a system like we're doing has a couple of negative impacts on that system. One of the negative impacts that it has is these strategic and luxury resources are not collected while a system is being blockaded. And so we can actually prevent all of these resources from being collected by the Sophans for a number of turns if the pirates come and blockade this system, which they will do. So using pirate marks to blockade critical systems within a opponent's trade network or within their resources, for example, strategics in particular, can be a real effective strategy, particularly in multiplayer games, but also just against the AI. So, good little piece of information there. The other thing that it does is it also reduces the influence. I think that information can be located somewhere. I think you have to be blockaded for it to... Maybe it's here? Oh. There's somewhere when your system becomes blockaded that there's an icon that if you mouse over a tooltip will tell you what effects are being applied to your system. So, but that's basically what it is. Influence is reduced. I believe food is reduced. And then also your gathering of strategics is halted. And trade networks. Okay, let's go ahead and get going. Oh, we got stuff to do. So technology-wise, we need to figure out what we're doing. I only need one more tech to move up a tier, and I kind of want to get tanks, and I also kind of want to get higher manpower deployment and more command points. These skills have been reworked from older versions of the game, which I think is a good thing. It encourages diversity of modules. So we're going to go ahead and pick that one up, and it's only going to take one turn. It's also going to unlock all of these cool traits, which is going to give us even more command points on the Empire and a few other weapon types. And then we have another hack we can perform. Now, I don't know... I did not get a back door put in here yet, but I think that's worth doing. So let's do that. It'll take us 10 turns, but we can get a back door that's pretty safe. It's pretty long distance, and they have to move through our encrypted system in order to trace. So I think we'll be fine there. Okay, so now that I'm considering increasing our command points significantly, I think it does make a little bit of sense to maybe build a second battleship. That's only going to take 4 turns, and 2 battleships means we can put one in each of the 2 flotillas, which will be beneficial. At this point, we can also change our law. So let's do that before I forget. We don't need this law anymore. And instead we can build the lower fleet costs, which we're going to run this law in order to get our quest completed. We also need to figure out what the next technology we're going to grab is. We have a pretty large surplus of titanium, which means we could go with these advanced titanium weapons, which could be really good for us. We also have the option of going for more command points, as well as fighters and bombers, which are pretty neat, but not very effective at this point in the game. Enhanced swarm missiles would actually be beneficial. If they do use, continue to use bullet weapons, that can be very good. Let's think about this for a moment. Is there anything over here? We've got a lot of stuff we need to grab over here. This is actually pretty useful, but I don't think we're even close to our cap yet, so that's not something we need right now. Let me think about it and we'll come back to that. We've got some stuff to do over here first. Let's go ahead and get those buildings put down, followed by those buildings. This is going to be a difficult planet to get much going on. That is going to be a real critical early game building. And this building is actually pretty effective here as well. This system, we need to figure out how to live on ice planets. So let's go ahead and search for ice planets. Ice is going to be right here. Let's go ahead and put that in the queue. That is something we could use pretty quickly here and get a couple more of these planets colonized, which will in turn increase our industry. We already knew about that. Be the first to win 10 battles. We got a free 1,000, which we can definitely use. And if we go over here, we can see that 2.5 thousand is our empire max. That's been increased significantly from leveling up military tech as well as gaining new systems. So we didn't waste any of it. It all got applied properly. And now that we have tanks, we should definitely consider upgrading to tanks and switching all of our troops to tanks in the short term, since we have plenty of manpower to do so. Tanks are infinitely better against infantry than infantry are, and so will be even more effective in our next ground battle, which is going to happen right now. Now, I don't think that will take effect till next turn, so we're just going to preemptively bomb again. This is probably going to be enough to win, and it was. So they've lost a few things on their system as well as a few population, but they are officially donezo, and this system is now ours. This might put us back in the lead, or we might need one more system. But I think we are just going to go ahead and occupy them. Now this is going to take some time before this system becomes very useful to us. But while we're waiting, we can go ahead and get some things built. I think maybe what we want to build is a couple more of these ships. And we'll see. We might build more than that. Jadonics. And we have regained the lead, so we're now back up in our influence per turn, which is going to be helpful. Alright. So let's see here. Anything else that I need to be aware of? I do have the ability to attack again. We'll attack the Horatio ship that's here. It's another weapon. These might be ships that he's actually producing. We're going to go power to shields. Yep, he's just going to continually retreat these ships away from the system. He'll bring them back eventually, and they will meet their demise. I'm going to go ahead and send out just in areas that we haven't uncovered yet, since we get probes pretty much every turn. And this fleet should be inbound next turn.
I greet you in the name of the 4 families.
And the Lumeris. Man, everybody's on this one constellation. I wonder if I set the constellation to a single large constellation. It's possible. We'll see what happens once we get more of the map uncovered. At this point in time, I don't think we've... Yeah, there's only one constellation that's even been uncovered at this point. It does look like that this is just a large one in this bottom region. There's probably 2 more large, maybe 3 more large constellations. But we'll see. Alright, we're going to have quite a bit going on here. found Horatio Prime. Modernization is complete. Horatio population is fleeing or dying. One of those two things. We did achieve the assimilation of a new population, the Horatio. Found their homeworld. This was a Sophan minor sieve that they
You're
collected.
one of our favorite fish in this galactic sea.
And she is actually welcoming with us, which is good. We do have trade networks. We should talk to her about possibility of trade.
Welcome. How can the families help?
She's not quite down with peace. Is she down with map sharing? Because that could be very beneficial. She's more likely to do that. Do you like deciduous trees? No. Red Sang? Nope.
Yeah.
Eden incense. Not interested. What about 5 antimatter? There we go. I will gladly give up my 5 antimatter. Can I do like 3? I probably don't need this antimatter, but that's probably good enough. So 2 antimatter to share maps. Okay. So we just discovered a whole bunch of stuff. 20% of the galaxy to be exact. Minor Civ, their homeworld, Tor, Craver's homeworld, Minor Civ.
Not just a deal.
Thank you. That gave us the scavenged ram scoops, which will be helpful later when we retrofit our ships, as well as a new quest, it looks like. Colonize or create an outpost on 2 unique planets in less than 30 turns. We have 1 unique planet currently, and we'll get a new hero if we get a second one. So we'll keep an eye out for those. We did see 1. Okay. So this is Craver's space over here. And then it looks like the Unfallen are up there. And I'm not seeing Tor. It's got to be one of these two. That's Husk. There it is. So Cravers have Tor, and they already have a large population on it. That is a little bit frightening. We also have another faction here. Is that light green? Okay. Light green is over there. We don't know who that is yet either. I forget. I've played a lot of games. So this is a game where I have all 12 factions. Okay. Well, that being said, I think we kind of lucked out. We are going to have a chance to basically wipe these guys out, I have a feeling. I should have considered buying that out. I think we can fight this. We have healed that ship quite a bit at this point. Let's just double check. What did he pick up? A Prowler? So they do have a little bit of energy defense. But the vast majority of their weapons are still going to be best at short range. So I think it makes sense. We can go ahead and repair that ship, actually. I'm going to go ahead and repair it just to be on the safe side. And just in case something squirrely happens, I'll go ahead and shoot out my probe. And then we'll go ahead and engage. We are going to go power to shields. That's not going to be very effective defensively, but it is going to be effective in terms of what weapons our fleets have compared to theirs, and also the number of guns we're likely toting. So let's see what happens. Okay, they did go turtles. So what should happen is at long range, they will do very little damage to us, while we'll do moderate damage to them. Medium range damages will become more even, and at short range, they might be slightly more effective than us, but at that point in time, we should have destroyed multiple ships and still outgunned them. So let's see if I'm right. I'm going to go to the overview camera, switch to the free camera, and focus on our hero. Alright, here we go. And I'll go ahead and speed this up just a little bit. Okay, we're using swarm missiles, not laser weapons, so not quite as effective as I was hoping, but we are getting some significant damage. Unfortunately, our fleets are not focusing fire quite as effectively as theirs, but it looks like we're going to just clean these up pretty quickly here. Yeah. Took a lot of damage on that one ship, but he was able to tank almost all of the damage, so that's good. And we got 400 dust, so if we want to, we can basically just repair him again. And Horatio's going to be in a tough spot. We'll have to wait till next turn. You can only repair once per turn, I believe. Or we could just not repair because we're out of dust. That was way more expensive than I thought it would be. Okay. He does have a larger fleet with 6 ships, none of which are medium class ships yet, it doesn't look like. He's got a bunch of weapon 4s. These are all using bullet weapons. Bullet weapons are effective defenses against missiles, but not super effective against swarm missiles. One thing we could do is look to retrofit our ships. And we may be doing that very soon, but not right this second. Our scout has made it back here. I am going to go ahead and send him there. But actually, we're going to stop here and get the better engines put on him. And possibly better probes. We'll see what we have going on. Alright. He's likely to send this fleet over here. He will outnumber us. I should have a little bit of time to buy these out if he does indeed do that. How much is a battleship? Kind of expensive. What is our basic Corvette using right now? Okay. Let's go ahead and change this up just a little bit. And let's go with... Oh, that's right. I totally forgot about this. We have the Galar Fire laser weapons that we picked up as part of our quest. We should definitely do something with that. So first things first, we have a number of things we could do here. Scavenged ram scoops are incredibly useful engines. The plus 25% bonus does stack, and so if you get multiple scavenged ram scoops on a ship, they will be more effective. at moving around the galaxy. This will give you a movement of 4, which is slightly better number-wise, but not distance-wise traveled with the bonus. But more importantly, it does give you just a little bit of evasion. That little bit of evasion's probably not worth it, but I'm going to go ahead and equip that here. And then we're going to switch our bullet weapons out for these laser weapons, which are going to be very, very effective. We also have better shields at this point, which we could throw up. But actually, since they're using almost exclusively bullet weapons, I'm going to go ahead and switch that to armor. And we're going to apply that. And then our escort ships. We're going to edit as well. And we'll give him slightly better shields. Give him the same engines. And we're going to leave the bullet weapons, but we're going to make sure we get the more effective ones if we have a better one. The reason that we're going to leave bullet weapons is because they're really good defenses against missiles. And if these ships do survive in close, they're very, very dangerous in close range. And then I'm debating whether to put titanium slugs in these ships as opposed to the repair modules. I think I'm going to leave the repair modules in for now. We'll go ahead and apply that design. Our patrol ships. So let's go ahead and edit this ship design. This ship is mainly going to be for scouting now. So what we're going to do is we're going to put 2 sets of scavenged ram scoops. Oh, we can't. I forgot this ship design does not allow for that. In that case, since we might keep one of these with our fleet, do I want to do that? I guess we'll go with that. 2 weapons. Throw the lasers on there, and most of the things we're seeing right now are using this. I guess what we could do is throw a gun on there just so we have missile defense in the event a lone pirate comes across us. Alright, our settler ships will definitely benefit from scavenged ram scoops. Apply that design, and then our battleship is going to have all kinds of weapons. So we can put a lot of weapons on this thing. Question is, what do we want to put on it? And I think what we want to put on it is definitely a bunch of these. I still think having a little bit of missile defense is important. And perhaps having an alternate damage source that's also good at long range is important. We do have 2 slots here, so we'll just put 1 of each type here for now. And then this 3rd slot, we can put a number of things. This is actually really good. Increased chance of being targeted, but repairs your ship each turn. That's potential. But we could also throw some titanium slugs in there for better sieging. Manpower modules for more manpower deployment. Kinetic enhancers. We're not using a lot of kinetic weapons, though. I think what we'll go ahead and throw down in there is probably going to be the most beneficial is the titanium slugs for sieging. And that way we can siege a system down a little bit before we engage. We also want to update our hero ship. And definitely going to swap out these missiles. We'll keep one set of guns just in case missiles do get through. And then we'll go ahead and give him the same engines and the better shields. Alright, I like that. We're going to have to make some money in order to do this. It's not going to cost us a ton. And we definitely have some ways of getting this done. So luxury resource wise, we can probably just sell these off. That's not going to be enough. We're not going to need a bunch of this, and we're making 8 a turn, so I'm okay with selling it all off. That's still not going to be enough, but I've got plenty of strategics. 20, 25 of these maybe. That should do it. And now we can go ahead and repair and upgrade all of our ships. Alright. Over here, got some more curiosities to grab. Improved ion torpedoes. That's interesting. Those are actually fairly powerful, if I'm not mistaken. An adamantium deposit can be useful, but that pretty much ends our movement on this constellation. So we pretty much have this constellation uncovered, minus this one location over here, it looks like. Doesn't look like there's any more to it. We could jump over there relatively quickly, go in this direction, or we could head out this way. I think we're going to go ahead and head over here, because we are going to want to retrofit that ship at some point, and heading this direction will allow for that to happen. Alright. What else do we want to get done, right? These are still being built. This one should almost be done, 2 turns away. Okay, so this is kind of a long turn. Anything else we need to do? I don't think so. I think we'll go ahead and end the turn. Alright.
Speak quickly.
So it looks like purple, pink, orange, and light green got the roles for the Ascender quest. Okay. Get all of our fleets moving. Let's go ahead and send a probe that direction, and I've already sent one this direction, and that is as far as it's gotten so far. It looks like it will uncover something in 1 turn. There's nothing else over here that we really need to uncover. I guess I could send one up through the academy, which we can do. We've already uncovered this for some reason, but not entirely. Not sure what's going on there. And then we'll just keep sending one probe down this lane to keep vision on what he's doing over there. This fleet should have recovered all, if not, yeah, all 440 of our infantry have been recovered. We could travel here, and we can make it in one turn now. But because we launched probes this turn, we're not going to be able to do it right this second. Okay. A couple turns away from that being finished. This ship will get here in one turn, and then we can retrofit it. Get that done. And then I'm actually going to send this ship down here first. Getting these uncovered is a little bit more important than these two. Alright, the battleship has been completed. More Imperials have been born. And we've picked up a level on one of our heroes. We'll go ahead and grant him more XP per turn. Where is our hero currently? Oh, that's right. He's on system right now. I think we can go ahead and move him to a fleet. Not quite. One turn. So in one turn we'll move him to the fleet. Before I do that, let's make sure he's going to get that completed. And I can buy out this battleship. So here's an important thing to remember before moving heroes around. If you can buy stuff out before you move them, they'll get XP for it. So if I buy this battleship out, which costs a lot of influence, but will be worth it, he'll not only get all of the XP from building all these ships, but he'll also get the XP from building that battleship now too. And we can merge these. It looks like he did get this entire fleet over here. And he now outnumbers us. He has a hero and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ships. But again, it looks like they're all bullet weapons. And we now have much more effective weapons at long range. I was thinking that we would be able to see that coming a little bit better. He may have sent that fleet from this direction. So he may have had those 7 ships over here. We should still come out pretty well in this fight. We are going to go power to shields. And we are going to watch this. But I have a feeling... So he's got 2 flotillas. That does change things a little bit. We'll see how this goes. Alright, let's get my hero. Spin around here. And we'll see how we do. This could be quite scary. Alright, so he does have missiles coming in. Our laser weapons are pretty effective at long range. So his hero's down. We are taking significant damage to one of our ships, but we have quite a few other defensive ships. And that's not where most of our damage is coming from. I'm going to rotate this just a little bit so can see most of the damage is getting applied here. Yeah, we're probably going to end up losing, but our ships are going to go down a lot quicker now, although we're pretty much even. Yeah, I think we're going to win. Alright, well that went pretty well overall. Better than I could have expected. And the fact that we started building those 2 defensive ships, I knew they would be the first ones to go down in a fight if they did go down. So we've almost got these 2 replaced. All of these ships are gone. And we got a bunch of dust, as well as some experience and some science. So everything went according to plan. Unfortunately, this does give him an opportunity to retrofit that other fleet and send it our way, and it could be pretty effective against us. But we'll see. Our hero did make another level, so what can we get that's going to be beneficial? Well, not much. Shield absorption on fleets is mediocre. System capacity is he's not defending a system. So really the only thing we can do is this. Since he is a senator, we'll increase our empire capacity by a percentage, which just gives us a higher cap on how much manpower we can store in reserves. I guess I'm going to go with the shield absorption, because that's going to benefit us more in the short term. Heroes are a higher level now. The debris drifting silently through the void is a reminder of a minor engagement where Horatio Alpha lost to the Nose Plays, during which 8 ships were destroyed. Concerning the military personnel involved in the action, was deemed to be in the realm of acceptable losses, claiming 595 lives. Does this... oh, yeah, here we go. Encounter remains. Interesting. Well, I can actually uncover this, so it has some impact. 20 Hyperium as a loot. Interesting. Well, I can't repair my ships because the cost is too great. But one thing I can do is consider getting some more ships. I guess we'll just wait. I could sell that 20 Hyperium real quick and then repair my ships, which I should probably do. Okay. So that allowed me to basically cover my damage. Not quite my losses, but we still haven't ended our turn yet. Alright, back to our defensive stance here. Throw that in the queue. There's a lot that's going to have to go on there, but Anything else we need to do? I'm going to go ahead and clear that. We're not likely to get that. There are not... Well, actually, this is a unique planet, Horatio Prime. So if we are able to take over Horatio Prime, we will get that hero for free. Yeah. Alright, so let's go ahead and end the turn then. Now we're coming up on 1 hour. I'm going to try to play to turn 60 just so we get a nice 10 turns in. We need to get a few things going here. This is going to be really beneficial. It's going to give us a lot of industry. And we'll need to create some more stuff here. Now that we have the ability to colonize both these planets, we should definitely do that ASAP. Approval's still good, so we can hold off on this, and I think we're good on ship-related stuff for the short term. Let's go ahead and merge those fleets together, upgrade them to the proper spec. And so that's 7 of 15. So we actually can build much larger fleets now. We do have this one already ready to go. I don't have the money to upgrade it, but we can fix that with luxuries. And strategics, I guess. Titanium, let's do 28. And 14. There we go. That should be more than enough. Upgrade that ship. And then get him heading over here. And then over here, I have the option of buying this out or waiting a couple of turns and buying out the battleship. I think what we're going to do is wait a couple turns and buy out the battleship. We'll see next turn if that fleet is on the move. I didn't see it yet. Merge those fleets together. Oh, there is another Horatio system over here. Okay, so it's a good thing I threw that one down the dark lane. I didn't see this line here. Kind of got covered up. Alright, we made it over here. We got a little bit of movement left, so let's just get moving. I do see one curiosity over here that we could come and grab. And then it's just not that far to get to Perseus, which is probably where we're heading next. Neural robotics in 5 turns will greatly improve our industry in all of our systems once we get some of those buildings down. At some point here, we should be getting close. It probably won't be this map, or this video, but we should be getting close to finishing a quest. Okay. So let's go ahead and pin that up. So we're at what looks like 5 of 10 turns. Kind of hard to see underneath that icon there. So we're about halfway to completion. Unfortunately, that means we're going to have to continue to run both of these laws, even though we're not making ships in a lot of places, but perhaps we should remedy that. This is going to be over here in 1 turn. I could build 1 escort ship in 3 turns, or a patrol ship in 3 turns, or we'll just let these continue. Yeah, let's just let this continue to be what it's going to be. What I do want to do is assign my other hero and get his ship similarly outfitted with laser cannons. I don't think we need probes on his ship necessarily. We could go with this fleet accelerator, which is really helpful for helping fleets get around. And then armor and shield wise, we'll go with the same as before. And apply that design. Alright, so that's looking better. This ship will be in 2 turns, and then we can start moving it in to help back up this fleet. Once we get this battleship next turn, I think it's going to be 2 turns before I can buy it out. I might be able to get it in 1 turn if I do this, because this will reduce the cost by some margin. Let's try this, and then I can buy this one out. What else do we need to do this turn? Check all of our systems here. Everybody's making important and useful stuff. Let's double check that this is what we want to be doing over here. So first and foremost, you need to be on this system. We do have our Xeno-industrial infrastructure, so grabbing these colonizations is actually grabbing us industry, which is important. We are at ecstatic, but that's not going to last too much longer. Or maybe it is. I don't see our approval bonus coming from the colonization of our last system. So I guess we don't need to worry about these right away. Yeah, there's nothing really super important to get built here. So we'll just continue. One thing that we could do is throw this in the queue. That's going to take 3 turns. So we'll finish this first and then get spin projects, which will enhance the amount of influence we're getting on that system. Alright. We made it to turn 60. Let's see. I don't see that fleet. Our probes just don't quite have the range that we kind of need them to. More Imperials. A new trading company has been created. That's good for us. The industry bonus is now gone. That's unfortunate. We were benefiting from that quite a bit. System of lores. Where is lores? Is that our homeworld? Yeah, it is. Are we more likely to get industry or food in the next little bit? I don't think that this really matters either way. We do have more science buildings, so that's probably what we're going to go ahead and go for.
Desperate acts for desperate times.
They're interested in becoming allies. I'm actually very interested in becoming allies with you.
Are you back as friend or foe? Speak fast.
Because trade agreements come from being allies. Alright. So far so good. This ship made it down here finally. We'll go ahead and grab these. Okay, deposit of adamantium. A quadronix lenser. Increased chance to be targeted. Repair ship after each phase. That's actually really powerful. Very expensive, 2 quadronix per use, but... And a load of empire dust. Interesting. And hard battle target. And an adamantium deposit. All good stuff. So lots of good things going on over here in this system. I'm pretty glad that we picked it up. This in particular is going to be very important to our future. And it is an average deposit, it looks like. So that's good. Oh, what do we need to do here? Well, before we do anything else, let's just clear all this. And let's come back over here and get this done, because this is what I really wanted to get done. I want to get that big battleship up and ready to rock as soon as possible. And then this one will arrive next turn, so we'll have a nice big fleet here. This fleet is all ready to go. We can upgrade that battleship now. And we'll be at 10 of 15 shortly. Are there any other curiosities we've uncovered? It doesn't look like it. So the next spot to go with this ship is there. Okay. And trade companies. So now we got to figure out where we're going to lay down our next trade company. We've got a new trade company headquarters. This will allow us to produce a another subsidiary, which both trade headquarters will then trade with. So our first trade headquarters is located here, and our first subsidiary was here. The next trade headquarters we want in a position that's kind of far from here, so I'm thinking maybe putting it down in Takim, but at the same time we want to put it in a location that's going to be fairly well developed. We could put it in Botha. That's not a very good trade route. Perseus is kind of problematic because of the pirates, although I don't think that's a big deal as long as we keep them happy. Imex is a possibility. It's already got 7 population. And we're going to complete Luxury Lottery next turn, which should push us back up to Ecstatic. Yeah, let's do that. Industry-wise, is there anything we could throw? We could put these guys over here. That actually puts us up to Ecstatic right away. And it gives us a little bit more industry. I'm happy with that. We do have the ability to colonize this huge ice world. So we could grab this with that settler that we had started before. I'm not sure that it's really worth doing, but I think I'm going to go ahead and do it just so we don't get another pirate over here. And it will provide another opportunity for trade route growth. Alright. So I think this is probably a good place to stop the video here. We'll just make sure we finish all of our ship's turns. We're not going to get in a fight with this guy. We're just going to head right on out of the way and grab as many curiosities as we can on our way through the Sophan system. Do not have any more probes over here. We'll have to kind of pay attention when these probes move through here to make sure that we're seeing what's going on this system. We did put our hero here, yep. I think there's a whole lot else to do. We do have these two pirate fleets over here. I'm hoping that they're actually at some point going to go and do their thing, since we did put a pirate mark here.
I know we can agree on a prize. I'm going to need to get Toxic World soon. Alright. Yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up for tonight. So, I hope you guys are enjoying this series. I'm enjoying playing Endless Space 2 quite a bit again. And I've been playing a number of games both on and off camera now. I am going to continue this one for a little bit longer. I do want to at least try to conquer the Horatio, since my viewers were requesting a warmongery faction. And then we'll decide if we really want to continue into taking over the Sophans and then helping out our brand new friends, the trade happy Lumeris. That would be a pretty exciting way to in the game, perhaps get the Lumeris to team up with us against the Cravers in the end. I think that's a real possibility, but we'll see. That being said, this has been the Nose Plays, and I hope you guys have a great evening.